Hey guys, how's it going? How are you all doing tonight? Can you guys hear me okay, by the way? All right, all right. How's it going, gang? I recognize some of the names again here. It's good to see you guys. Nelly, I think that's you. I think I just spoke to you earlier today. How's it going? Hey, JTP. I remember your name as well. What's going on? What's going on? Have you guys taken any trades today? Yo, 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 yo. It's been interesting, man. It's been an interesting day. I just realized I gotta change my screen up here a second. Give me with that. There you go. Now you can see the more proper screen. You know what? Honestly, what are you looking at? Are you looking to short NQ? You're looking to short gold. I know. I saw Ron's stream. Who knows, man? He might hop on randomly. I actually caught a pretty good short trade tonight on gold. I got back to my desk. I had a couple of meetings, phone calls, and then I hopped into a short with gold. So I've already exited majority of my position already now. But it was a solid trade. It was a solid trade for gold. I pretty much took our short trade up here. So I'll just gotta give you guys a little bit of a emphasis on where I kind of took this. So just talking a little about gold because I haven't really been trading it that often, but I think because we're in all-time highs right now with NQ, I just looked at this and I said, you know what, this just looks smoother. Like if you can see, actually, I'll just show you NQ first. You can see that NQ is respecting this AOI. So guys, if you guys saw my stream yesterday, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. These areas of interest, 793, 739, I had these on my chart yesterday as well. And so I'm gonna talk a little bit about the price for NQ from the New York session that just took place coming into today. And then I'm going to talk about my gold trade as well. So I'm going to talk about both of them right now because I think it's very important so that we can kind of manage our expectations for the course of the session. So what's up, guys? What's up, guys? I know you guys are just tuning in. Don't forget to drop a like, guys, please. It really helps me a lot. All of us obviously are streaming different sessions of the day. And so I know this is going to be one of the slower ones just based on what time I'm streaming, but it really helps me out, helps the algo as well. If you guys can drop some likes for me here. But I am going to talk about my thoughts on NQ, my thoughts on gold, and then who knows, later on throughout the day, if we get some good setups, we'll take some opportunities here as well. So drop a like, gang, drop a like. I will be giving away an account later today as well as usual. It's the as you can expect, I will be giving away a 50K account again with E8, but we'll get to that. Let's talk about the chart because I think that's more important. Um, let's take a look at the New York session. So if you guys remember yesterday, we were pretty much ranging, right? So this was kind of where I was about to end my night. And you guys remember I kind of hopped into that wing it long at the very end there, which probably wasn't a great idea because I got stopped out pretty quickly, but that's okay. We did mention over yesterday's stream that the double top over the high range was the play, and it was. As you can see, we ended up shorting down towards the lower part of the range again. But I did mention that if we were looking for longs, I was looking to see if we can come and trace back to the 739 AOI, and then we also have the 793 as well. Now you can see how this played out so well over the New York session. If you follow me on Instagram as well, I have already posted my trade on what I took as well on the day. But you can kind of see here over the New York session, we came up, we tagged my area of interest here at 26,793. It's also kind of acting as a level now for us. But when we opened up, if you could have waited for the first 30 minutes, so I've been talking about this a lot, that the first 30 minutes of New York is generally where I like to wait and see how price develops. you could have caught this nice double top short off the NQ. Now, I know not everyone wants to like top tick trades because it gets risky, and I don't blame you. But even if you didn't catch that, you can see here the way that we ended up closing beneath this area of interest at 26,739. And then you can see here we retested that price and it acted as a nice signal for us to short. So pretty much if you were able to catch it, this short move all the way down was a clean short trade on the NQ, leveraging the same AOIs that I had marked already yesterday. And so I'm still keeping them in play because I think they're very valid. Now, the long that I took actually, so again, like I said, you follow me on Instagram, you'll know exactly what I took. I actually took this long trade here. So we see that we pierced beneath the level and we pierced beneath the Globex period. Again, that's kind of this bottom range area from the overnight session. So coming into the day, I had already that mindset of, okay, we're coming back down to that bottom of the range again that we saw over the London session. So I was kind of like, I was balancing work at the same time, but I saw that. And the moment I did, I took a look and I said, you know what, let's just see what we do here. As it closed beneath, I kept my hands off, but the moment price started to reclaim back above, and you can see here right now that we reclaimed back above the Globex opening print and the level, and then we held price as well. I pretty much took as soon as price held here and we start to show that we were putting in volume and momentum with the follow through break above, I took my entries for long. I trimmed for 30 points up here and I closed it for 60 points up here. So you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. This is like, I posted on Instagram. If you're in the Discord, I posted the Discord as well. I was at NQ with longs on watch. And so that's a long trade that I took over the New York session. So as you kind of take a look at that, you can kind of see here that that was essentially the bottom of the day. As we moved into later on in the New York session, we basically recovered the entire move that we had wiped out from the earlier portion of the session. And then coming into today, surprise, surprise, that same 793 area of interest has acted as a support. And I know a couple of my students already told me, because they shared it in the Discord as well, that they actually had taken the longs off of this bound. So I mean, obviously, if you're in the stream right now, congratulations, that was a solid long catch over the Asia session. I really like the confluence that we had here with the AOI and in with the indicator as well. So this was a solid trade up to the upside. You can kind of see here, like even if you were to play it a little bit more passively, whether you want to take a little bit of the long further up here, that would have already granted you 30 points here. Or if you want to see if we can do a break and retest hold above the VWAP, as you guys have heard me kind of talk about in the prior sessions as well, that was also another nice long opportunity, and you would have gotten your 30 points locked in already. So as of right now, as NQ makes its move, I'm definitely not going to enter at this point because we definitely would be chasing. But as we make our move up here, I would like to see how price reacts up here around our all-time highs and our level. Either we get some nice break and retests for a continuation, or I'm going to look to potentially take a short, not because I'm looking for us to short an entire move, because we are very, very bullish on the NQ. It's more so if I can have the opportunity to either short the pullback or find a proper higher low to long. That's essentially kind of what I'm looking at when I'm thinking about the NQ. So there's that. So that's the first thing. And then I'm going to hop over to gold now. And I promise I will answer your guys' questions because I will read through the chat after I go through this, because I know once we can start talking, we can go on for a little while. So I want to make sure at least I get the price action component things out of the way. You can see here on gold, what essentially we did over the past few days is we slowly made our way up on gold and we came back up here. And so basically during our current session open, which I should probably mark because I haven't marked it actually. I'm surprised well, maybe I just didn't save it earlier. So I'm just going to mark that up first. Globex opening. So we came up here, and this isn't just random. I know for some of you guys who are maybe a little newer to trading, you might look at this and be like, this looks very random. Like, why did price come back down? Now, in trading, nothing is black and white. Nothing is like, this is exactly what's going to happen, right? No matter what, we've obviously got to gather our data, gather our specifics, and fine tune to see if whether or not this fits our strategy and edge. Now, what was interesting about gold was that what essentially we've done here as we moved our way back up is that we recovered the gap down on gold. That's what we did. So if you pull back here, you can see here on this day, we closed last week on Friday where gold was here. And then when we opened earlier this week, we gapped down all the way down here. Essentially what we've done is we came up and we recovered the gap. We basically call it a double top, depending what time frame you're looking at. We essentially topped the gap close of Friday, which also was a level. And so basically that's essentially what took place, is that we double topped it and we rejected down, right? And so this was the New York session. Okay. We came back up to the current Globex session, and same thing. We looked like we were going to try to break out. And if you guys remember what I've said in my prior streams as well, I'm not a breakout trader. I personally don't like it. It has generally worked against me. So for me, I rather wait and see if we get a proper retest. And you can see here that we never really actually got a retest. Like, we were kind of like weaving in and out of this level area. And so I just didn't feel comfortable longing. So if not feeling comfortable longing, I might think, okay, maybe there's a short. I didn't see a short just yet at this time. So I waited. What originally started triggering my thoughts for short was that as we started grinding back down here, we were respecting the hold beneath the VWAP. Now, if you guys been watching for the streams, I've been talking about this a lot, right? The VWAP that we're looking at right now is kind of acts as like a dynamic area of interest for me, as it continues to show us the variable weighted average price of the intraday chart. And so we started locking in lower highs as we made our moves down. And you can see here below VWAP, below opening print, below Globex, and we started inching our way down. Basically for me, the moment that we started uh, putting in these lower highs, where I entered my short trade was down here actually. So the moment that we kind of cleared the 200 EMA, we're holding low VWAP, we're setting in lower highs. I entered my short trade up here, and I basically trimmed my first contract here at the 821 level, and then I sold my last contracts out here at my yellow marker Globex print here. So if you take a look at that gold trade and what that represented, I think it was about, I want to say it was about here. This trade I trimmed for 13 points, and then I held the last one for 23 points, 23 and a half. So a very solid short gold trade, and I built a nice buffer. And so what I told you guys last time was that one of the things I'm going to do this week is I'm going to start using my Take Profit Trader Pro account to see if I can lock in daily payouts every single day. I'm obviously going to like to try to do it on stream with you guys as well, but the reality is that if I see a good trade setup before my stream, I'm obviously going to take it. I'm not going to wait for the stream. It doesn't make a lot of sense as a trader. So I did lock in a really nice buffer on this account already. So I've got a profit buffer to play with right now. What I'll tell you right now for gold is I am going to look for longs. And you might think, Alan, that's kind of crazy. This is such a bearish chart. Why would you look for longs? What I'm essentially kind of looking for is, and I have to let price tell me, I'm trying to see if we have the ability to reclaim back above the 4811 area here. And if we do, if I can see the sense of either a break and retest or some strength in candle bars and volume, then I'm open to retracing maybe 10 to 15 points of this move back to the upside before maybe we continue to go lower during the London session. We'll see. So what the last thing I'll say before I kind of read through the chat to see any questions that you guys may have asked and all that is that before all of the craziness and the volatility that we've seen this year, last year when I was trading Asia a lot, I found that whenever we had trending moves over Asia, London will either continue the trend, evidently, right? Or it does a very good job of retracing the move that Asia offered. So humbly speaking, I mean, if I can capture 20%, 30% of the market's retracement, that'd be cool. That'd be amazing. If you want to use the Fibonacci's, you'd look to see if you could retrace 50% of the move. I think it'd be overly bullish. If I had multiple contracts, maybe, and that's a big maybe, I would hold to see if we can recover the entire move. But that's a very, very low probability. I probably wouldn't shoot for that personally. But we'll see, because as of right now, if I were to switch this gold chart to the daily time frame here, you can see here already the reason why I'm thinking that we can maybe push back above is that, yes, we may have come back down, but we had some pretty strong daily bars in the past few days. So I'm trying to see if we can essentially recover this, because essentially what this would look like if you imagine going into the New York session tomorrow is that if we can retrace this move over London and come back up and then allow New York to continue the momentum, we can basically build off of this daily failure to go lower to continue to push the price of gold even higher. Now it's tough because we did obviously we basically took the gap down retracement, so we'll see what happens here. But that's just kind of a speculative thought that I have on my mind right now and what I'm thinking about for gold. So gold, I am looking to see if we can play the longs. If there are no longs to play, then I'm open to shorting it. But I'm going to give it a little bit before I can hop into that. And then on the NQ, as I mentioned, it's too late for me to hop into this now. So we'll see what price does as we come back up here. Either we'll take a break and retest for continuation, or I'm open to shorting with some minimal expectations, probably like 20, 30 points, probably not too much over the session. As you know, our sessions are generally quite slow in price action. But those are kind of my thoughts on the market. So that's my trade update on what trades I took over New York, what trades I took over. So sorry, what trade I took over New York with NQ, what trade I took over Asia with gold. So I longed NQ over New York and I shorted gold over Asia. So now we'll see what we want to do here. I've already requested the daily payout on this Take Profit Trader account, and now I already have a buffer as well. So technically speaking, I'm already green light for another daily payout, but I'm willing to risk a little bit of those profits tonight and trade with you guys. So let's see what kind of opportunity that we have in play. Okay. So anyways, that's my kind of 2 cents. Again, if you're just hopping into the stream right now, I just gave you a full recap of what everything has looked like for me, what it looks like right now in the chart, and what I'm expecting and looking for. Please drop a like, guys. Again, I might sound very repetitive. I keep asking for it, but it really does make a difference for me. So ever periodically, I'm going to ask you guys to drop a like if you guys can. And I don't mean just like the chat, like actually like the video, please. And later on today, I will be doing a giveaway. So anyways, that's my quick update. I'm just going to read through the chat just to see what I missed in case there were any questions from the gang. What's up, Evan? Nice job. Hey, Willa. What's going on? What's up, Mobex? What's up, Robert? E8 Sports, it's in the game. That's old school. That is so old school. I used to play all those games, man. Madden, NHL. Yeah. Having kids kind of stops you from playing games. I haven't played games in a very long time. Louis Pham, you asked the question, how do I find points of interest? So these are very subjective things. I think I call it my area of interest. That's like the label that I give it. I mean, really, in the end of the day, for US traders, that just means it's a spot on the chart that you find interesting. So for me, I generally mark a lot of my things off the hourly time frame. But again, it depends on what I'm looking for from the trade. I can mark it on every time frame, to be honest, right? So yeah. So anyways, that's just how I kind of go about that. What's going on, Peach? Do I keep old levels? If they're invalidated, no, I don't. But if I have key areas of interest that I have that so unrelated to levels, then yeah, sure, I'd be open to keeping them if it makes sense to do so. Let's see. KJM, why would I be a good programmer? What is it about me that makes me a good programmer? Would I ever move trades to break even? Only if I have already trimmed positions off and I've already seen the market play out. So I don't move price to break even to protect profits. That is not something I will ever do. That's never the reason. Because you guys got to remember, as we trade the markets, as I know, as counterintuitive as this sounds, we don't do this for the P&L, right? Like, we trade the chart. So if the chart gives me reason to move it to break even, I will do that, but I will never move it to break even because my P&L needs to be protected. You're welcome, Peach. I'm glad it helps. Crypt, in terms of trading New York sessions on Fridays, I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't know if I should be vulgar on YouTube here, but I usually tell students that that's like kind of an F off Friday type of deal. Like, if you've had a good week, I definitely would usually just say have a early weekend and don't trade Friday, unless for some odd reason you think price just looks amazing and you've got your A+ setup, and which in that case, of course, take it. But even then, I would say size down, right? Like, I don't. Yeah, I tread carefully on Fridays. 4811. 4811. Oh, that's just the Globex opening print. Who asked that question? Rio Chansa. Yeah, that's just Globex spot. That's all it is. What's up, Rye guy? It's good to see you in here again. Appreciate that, gang. How much am I up? Ooh, how much am I up? The account is up $4,000 right now. So for TPT, I have a 150K account. I don't trade smaller accounts than that anymore. Not at my phase of my trading, at least. So for that account, the buffer is 4,500. So you're never allowed to get beneath that, actually. So for me, whenever I trade, I will always withdraw the full amount. So like I took a daily payout. Like we'll see how price action is. I'm more than happy to show you guys my Take Profit Trader dashboard just for transparency, so that you guys can see the payouts that I've taken already and the ones that I requested recently. But generally, I will always take all of my profit out. I will never leave a buffer behind outside of the buffer that the prop gives me. And the reason why is because if you guys have been watching my stream, I've been talking about this. I always treat my accounts as if I have 10 bullets in the chamber. So, and sometimes depending on where I am at in my headspace or the accounts that I have, I might even be willing to only have it so I have 5 bullets in the chamber. But either way, me withdrawing all of it out is one, protect my profits, protect my payout, because that's the most important thing. The second thing is because for me, when I'm looking at that, I look at it from a perspective of if I'm going back to break the starting point again, then I can also make sure that I can reset my mindset going into the next day. So I don't go into that next day, that next session being like, oh man, I had such a killer day yesterday. I'm super confident, super cocky, and I'm going to go at it. And in the case I do something stupid like that, I'm at least protected. So like if I do blow that account, at least I knew I withdrew my payout at the very least, because the payouts are worth way more. If in the grand scheme of things, usually, right? If you can get like a decent chunk of a payout, that could buy you like 10, 20 more evals, right? And so as a trader who's confident, why would you risk that payout when you know that the profits from that can easily buy you more evals if you do something stupid and blow this account up, right? So just kind of my 2 cents on that one. I'm sorry, I have a habit of rambling because I get really passionate when I talk about trading. So wish I could stick around, might try be on more often, but find Disney World tomorrow. Hey, you're going Disney World. Good stuff, man. I just came back from Disneyland not too long ago, except we went to Shanghai Disneyland. It was a lot of fun. Hey, what's going on, Pinches? Hopefully I'm not butchering your name. I'm Robert. I'm looking forward to the day as my kid grows up and understands gaming more, because I am totally going to be the dad that games with his kid. It's going to happen. KJM, EMAs that I like to use. So you'll see it on the top left-hand corner here already. It's actually, I don't know if you guys can see this, but I use VWAP. I use the 9 EMA, 20, 50, and then the 200 EMA. So those are the only EMAs that I use on my chart. And then I have volume, of course, at the bottom there. What's up, Beyond Tomorrow? Hi, brief description. I know this question is gonna get asked a lot, and you can always feel free to obviously watch prior videos as well. But essentially, I'm a price action trader. I know it sounds so generic. What does that mean? If I were to high level overview this, I trade structure. Structure is very important to me. I am surgical when it comes to bar by bar. Anyone who works with me as a student will know that. I'm very surgical when it comes to bar by bar analysis. And then making sure that I mark and levels. So I guess I'll just call it levels for the sake of it. But if there are marker points on the chart, I'll usually refer to them. And I am very disciplined in terms of my binary approach to trading, which kind of speaks to just like, I'm very disciplined in how much risk I put on to reward. Some people might not find it as sexy because I don't always shoot for those very big moves, but my success hasn't come from just getting big moves. It's been consistently getting those hits that I want from the market, right? Outside of that, I think that kind of summarizes. I use indicators as well for trading. Indicators will never drive my decision for trade. It will only provide conviction. So they add as additional confluence for me more than anything else. Right, guy, the Globex line is pretty much the opening. Like it's when Globex markets open. So I don't know what time zone again you're in, but basically for me, that's 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's basically the market point for that. I think if you're learning, in trading KJM, the 50K accounts are by far the best. And I say that because the ratio of profit target to drawdown is the best. Generally, you'll get like a $2,000 drawdown for a $3,000 profit target, which is the best. Because anything lower, anything else you get will generally be more of like a 1-to-1, whereas in like, I could just say 2-to-1, where you'll get like $3,000 drawdown for a $6,000 profit target for a 100K account, or a $4,500 drawdown for a $4,500 profit target, or $9,000 profit target, sorry, for a 150K account. So really depends on what you like, but I generally will say 50K, best drawdown to profit ratio, and they're generally the cheapest accounts you can buy outside of the 25K accounts if a proper Maven offers that. Hey, oh, had no idea that you were SPAC straight, Spencer. Good to see you, man. Hopefully you got to your destination safe. I know you were driving earlier when you were messaging me. No, MobX, I don't build more drawdown. I keep whatever the buffer is that I get. At my stage, KJM, I do not treat my evals and fundeds the same. If you are still refining and learning and building an edge, you absolutely should treat it that way. Again, people might disagree with me. That's completely up to them. But I think that until you can really figure out what your edge is on the market, it doesn't make sense for you to try to full port evals and then get to your funded stage, because all you're really doing is you're harming yourself, right? Because what you're doing is you're subconsciously wiring yourself to trade that way just to get to the funded and be completely offsetted and confused about how you should be trading your funded. So, but I trade my evals much more aggressively because I already know what I like in the market. So I'm not going to waste time trying to pass an eval. Like, I'll be fairly straightforward about it. What's going on, John Norton? Yeah, man, real Chan, like, it's one of those things where, like, if they're not passionate about, they'll just never understand, and you'll just sound like the annoying dude that just keeps yapping away. Even for me, when I travel, I've like met people on plane rides, train rides. As soon as they realize that I trade the markets, they're like, "Oh, can I talk to you about like stocks? Can I talk to you about the markets?" And sometimes they could be talking to me about stuff that I have no idea. Like, they could be talking about forex or crypto, and I have no idea what the hell they're talking about. But obviously, they just want to talk price action. So I mean, I can always entertain that. I get it. Yeah, I'm the guy that trades in the kitchen, John. Yeah, it's my command center. That's right, Chris. Yeah, I manually mark Globex Rye. I know that the like there are certain indicators that will help you with that. So like, if you're familiar, I showed this last time. This is the FF indicator. So the FF indicator will actually generally show you all that already. So you can see on the right hand side here, it shows you here the New York low, low, Tokyo open, those type of things. And with the FF indicator, everything gets pre-programmed. So it's kind of, I always consider the FF indicator kind of like a Swiss Army knife. So if you're like looking for something that can help you provide everything, that is it. Like, if you're a Fibonacci trader, FF indicator's got that. If you're a trendline trader, it's got that. If you got opening prints, all that, it has that as well. Very similar to if you go to like Rake Traits has also recently rolled out their levels indicator. So like, if you rock them, if you want to know how to use their levels, I mean, the indicator automatically marks the levels for you as well. So I think like these days there's so much automation and trading that these are just the little things that will help save you a little bit of time on the markets when you're looking for stuff. So yeah, but I do manually do it. I manually mark everything. So even though we have the levels indicator with Rake and the FF indicator for the other stuff, I will still always manually do it. And the reason why I do it, it's actually kind of how I treat like my everyday life as well. I consider it like a ritual. Me marking up the chart one by one by one by one is like a wax on, wax off. It's kind of like when you wake up in the morning, you brush your teeth, you put your suit on, you get in your car, that type of deal. That's kind of how I treat charting. Even though, yes, it could be automated, I very much rather mark it manually myself. I find it, I don't want to say therapeutic, but like, it helps me get in the zone, if that makes sense. Because it's so different when you have something automated for you, right? Actually, you know what? I have a psychological example I can give you. I don't know if you guys know this, but it's proven. If you drive around all the time and you always use your GPS to get around, you will naturally have less of a collective memory on how to get to destination, because you've wired your mind to rely on something to tell you where to go and how to navigate. And you'll find that people who can generally find places, like get to places on their own without it, will remember it more. So for me, if I'm ever traveling, like for work, I'll often, yes, I'll map it on the GPS just to get an understanding of how to get there. But as soon as I map it, I'll just try to figure it out on my own, because by driving around on my own, I'll be able to see the roadmap, not the roadmap, sorry. I'd be able to see the oh my gosh, what am I trying to say here? Like the certain buildings, right? That I'll be able to see while I'm driving around. So I'll remember, like, oh yeah, I remember that building. Oh, I remember that tree. And it just helps me remember how to get to destinations a lot easier. So honestly, for me, if I'm ever using a GPS, it's because I just want to know what my estimated destination time is. It has very little to do with the fact that I'm trying to get there, if that makes sense. That would be my correlation to my rituals of marking my levels manually. Sup, John? Really? Still calling me Platinum Man? I haven't touched Platinum in forever. Let's see if Platinum still looks like AIDS. Yep, still looks like AIDS. Look at this, man. What is this, man? This is disgusting. I could not trade this chart. This is wild. No thanks. Thanks, Spencer. Get some rest, man. Eval's aggressive, as in I size aggressive, Alex. When it comes to evals, I don't trade like 1 mini or like 5 micros. I go like full 3 to 5 minis on my evals. Why don't I go like straight to funding? Yeah, I mean, sometimes when some accounts offer it, I will. But you know what it is though, Mobex? If you think about it, again, this comes down to your level of confidence, right? Like an eval 50K on average with a prop firm will average cost you about what, like $100. If I pass that account, if there's no activation fee, sorry, that's it. That's all my cost, $100. And if I can get that to a payout, I can make $2,000 or whatever that may be. If I get it straight to funded, that's going to cost me $500, $600. And so I just look at it from a statistic perspective. If I blow an eval or blow a funded that came from an eval, it's less detrimental financially versus blowing a straight to funded account. I just think that the ROI isn't there. But I do, don't get me wrong, I have traded and purchased straight to funded accounts before. I'm not saying I've never done it before, but generally if I have an option for the eval, I'll take the eval option. It's just cheaper. John, you want to elaborate on your question about gold? Because I did do a full recap just now about my perspective on gold from New York and currently right now. Because I actually just exited my short not too long ago. Yeah, Leo, I kind of just reviewed that earlier. I will go through it again just for some of the guys who are just hopping in now. But I did go through that full review earlier. Safe travels, man, Peach. Safe travels. Hey, Moneybag. I have no idea, Leo, what Spaceman BTC kill zone means. Yeah, you know what? The 25K accounts, they're pretty, honestly, they're kind of like, they're pretty solid, all things considered. Like, I do like what you kind of get out of them. They're kind of like a 1R type of account is how I look at them. Yeah, I mean, if you're assuming you're funded with the 25K, it'd be the same thing of how I treat any other account, right? You got to make sure you got 10 bullets in the chamber. So in that case, you're technically only risking $100 in theory if you want 10 bullets. But if you're like, hey, you know what, the 25K accounts are pretty cheap, I'm willing to suck it up, then yeah, you can make it so that you have 5 bullets in the chamber, and then in that case, then you'll risk basically $200 per trade. Double bottoming on gold. I'd like to reclaim back above 48.11. So let's see if we do. Right, guy. And AOI is just an area of interest, Jaden. Landmarks. There you go. Thanks, man. That's what I was trying to say. I like just drew a blank. You're looking to short the NQ. What does the NQ look like right now? Yeah, NQ short for a pullback, maybe. It's possible. Nelly, no, I've got a 2-minute time chart right now, and right now I've got a 5-minute as well. Usually I have the 2-minute, 5-minute, and 15-minute. That's kind of usually the chart I like to look at the same time. John, all good, man. All good. I don't know if you want to, like, you could technically reverse this video right now and watch my trade review, but I will obviously, like as I'm moving in closer and closer to like the halfway point of the stream, I'll try to go over the overview again. I just don't want to repeat myself too much just because I know those who kind of hopped on already, or I don't want them to get bored by me reviewing it again. But I will touch on it again just for you, John. Just maybe give me a little bit. Um, yeah, I'm looking at that gold bounce right now because I do think we're due for a little bit of a retracement. But just understanding that reversals have low probability, right? So you just have to understand how to manage that risk. So Leo, I have no idea what a spaceman BTC indicator is. I've never even heard of that. Chris. Oh yeah, no. The 10 bullets is reference MobX is like referring to the life of the account. So how you choose to want to spend that, yeah, you want to blow it all in one day. I mean, that's your choice, right? I definitely don't recommend that for people because over trading is not good. Yeah, over trading is not good. Christian, are you long on gold right now? Or are you long on NQ? Yeah, longs are looking good. I'm gonna wait. So what do I want to see, guys, on gold right now? You could have totally entered with this volume. So you can see how this at the half hour point we had a very strong push of volume come in here. We're double bottoming the level right now, which is looking pretty good. I would ideally want to see at least a retest before we go higher. Is kind of what I would kind of want to look for here. What would that be actually? Hold on. I just want to just take a look because I always forget what the price of a mini is for gold because I don't trade gold often. I do NQ all the time and I can do that with like quick mental math, but yeah, when it comes to gold, a little bit different. Oh, are you in long already, right guy? Best of luck, brother. I hope you get your target, man. What are you shooting for? What's going on, Brian? Did you short the NQ already, or are you just kind of providing your thought points? 10 bullets equals 10 evals. Spoken like a true degen. Yeah, I mean NQ right now, because technically speaking, if you're using a mini, for every 10 points is $200, right? So generally, if I'm risking 30 points, then that's about $600 risk for about either $600 or $1,200 target. So if you actually take a look at even on my on the Instagram on the trade that I took, for that trade I trimmed for 30 points and then I closed out my last contract for 60 points. So automatically that meant that trade overall for me was worth $1,800. And so KJM, that question you asked about volume can be very indicative of a lot of different things. And why I say that is because like when we say volume, we're talking about volume for a session, volume for a period, volume for a specific handlebar. It really kind of depends. You'll find that when you trade the markets, different periods of the day will offer different levels of volume. And so what I mean by that is obviously the largest volume part of the day is the New York opening, which is why you always get that big huge ass bar that comes up in the volume, right? And all volume really tells you is that the amount of interest participants that are taking place in the trade at that moment in time. And so I find that whenever you're looking at a trade and you see price respect an area with very high velocity of volume and participants, that generally is a signal for you. What kind of signal? Obviously depends on so many other factors that you would run in conjunction with it, but that's kind of how my take on it. Hey man, don't worry about all the questions. That's what I'm here for. Honestly, I think I know it sucks that I have the slower price session, but it's probably the most best fitting for me because there are a lot of things that I would love to be able to share on stream. That if you were trading very active markets, it's a lot harder. Like yesterday's stream, I missed a gold trade actually. Oh no, sorry, I missed a short trade on the NQ because I was actually talking so much. I'm like, oh crap, I missed my entry already. So it's all good, man. I enjoyed the chat. We call these free education sessions for a reason. Yeah, exactly, Leo. You got it. You got it. Best time to trade. I know you're probably get tired of me saying subjective all the time, but it truly is because it really depends on what you look for in a trade. If you're the type of person that wants to trade small size with high velocity, high participants, then you're going to want the New York session. You're going to want the New York Open. You're going to want the power hour, right? Like those are periods of time you're going to want to trade. But if you want like slower price action so that you can like maybe comprehend and read price better, then Asia is the way to go because it's slow enough for you to be able to read price, which is good. And if you get a hang of things, right, with reading price over slower sessions, you can always size up later on if you're worried about like not getting a big enough move over Asia. You can just compensate via size, right? But again, that's depending on the spectrum of a trader you are, whether you're new, intermediate, expert. Yeah, depends on that. Hey, what's going on? She trades. It's good to see you in here. I appreciate you guys, man. I appreciate the ones who have continuously hopped on these streams because like obviously it makes a big difference for us to have more participants involved and asking some solid questions. I always think about this. Actually, it reminds me of like days back in school where like you want to ask a question but you're too afraid to ask, but someone else will ask the question you've been thinking about the entire time. It's why I like the bigger groups, right? It's just so that you guys. I think there's a lot of you guys right now that are probably too afraid to ask the dumb question. Ask away, man. Like you could be a beginner trader. I've worked with students who've been trading for 5 years. I've worked with students who have never traded in their life. So I'm used to the different spectrums of experience. So don't worry about it, gang. Hey, Goofy, what's going on, man? Yeah, just drop a like on the video, guys. You guys are just hopping on now. It means the world to me. Heart medicine. I hope that I can put a halt on the degeneracy, my friend. What was one of the worst mistakes on blowing accounts? Man, where do you want me to start, Mob? Um, honestly, that rule that I set for myself that I mentioned earlier about how I always want to make sure I extract my payout. That mechanism has been designed because of the fact that there have been so many times where I have blown an account trying to shoot for more, telling myself that, oh, I have a bigger buffer, so I should push a little harder. All those dumb things that I've done, I think that, and then you just spiral, right? Because then you start losing the buffer that you had, and you're like, okay, I got to make that back, and then one trade becomes two trades becomes four trades, and the next thing you know, it not only is the profits you just made gone, your account's gone, right? And so, it's why I'm such a big advocate of if you can get a payout, if you get to like the 5th trading day, the 7th trading day, whatever it may be, if you get there, even if it's just a $300 payout, take the freaking payout because there's always a chance you can blow it. I'd rather walk away taking $300 and blowing an account afterwards, and at least know that, hey, you know what? With that $300, I could buy 3 more evals. Like just I'm a business person by heart, so I'm very big on statistical analysis. It's hard for me not to look at stats that way, which is the reason why I'm like, you know what? I don't even care. I'll take the payout. I don't care about the buffer all too much, right? Obviously, you don't want to have like bare bone drawdown, but taking a little bit is better than nothing. Yeah, man, it's all good. It's all good, guys. I appreciate that, Evan. Willem Cuber, what time is it for you there, man? What time zone you're in? Yeah, Moneybag. It's like the worst. It's a heart wrenching feeling, man. I don't know if one of my students is on stream right now, but he had a really rough time actually recently because he was still getting so close, and his urges got the best of him, and he traded when he shouldn't have traded, and now he's further back now than he was before. So that's just what it's such a heart wrenching, sinking feeling. It's just not worth it, man. Not worth it. Fonzie, that's a really great question, my friend. Risk to reward or probability? So I think those are two different kinds of traders. You can be super, super successful with a low R multiple, but with a high win rate. You can be super successful with a low win rate and a higher R multiple. Jake Ricci actually talks about this a lot because he himself has mentioned before where he's had 40% win rate months, but yet still be crazy in the positive, right? So it really depends, right? It really depends on how you look at it, right? Um, I myself, my happy medium, I would say, and I posted this on my Instagram before as well. I'm actually just gonna drop it here for you guys, just in case for those who are newer here. Um, but like in terms of what I usually do, is 80 to 90% of the time I am going to take a 1 to 2 R trade just because higher probability because I'm not obviously exposing my position to the market as long, but and then on the rare occasion, the 10% of the time, I'll be willing to hold for 3, 4, 5 R. And just remember that R is it can be quite irrelevant. Like, and the reason why I say this is like if you're risking 5 points for 30 points right now, but then the next trade you risk 15 points for 30 points. Well, if you think about it, in both of those trade setups, you're going to get 30 points. But your market setup might allow you for a 5-point stop loss right now, but it might allow you for a 15-point stop loss later. So sometimes that can kind of really mess with you. So I've heard people say like, hey, I got a 10R trade. But that just basically meant that he had risked 10 points and managed 100 points, which is obviously an amazing trade. But would you always risk 10 points? I mean, I don't know. Maybe the answer is yes, but I don't know if that would always be the case. Like my largest trade I've ever taken in my trading career was somewhere in the low 300s point trade, and that was me taking. It was a long trade that I had taken on the NQ. It was sometime last year, but I had taken a long trade pretty much around Tokyo Open, and I held that trade all the way until the London close around New York session. And that was like basically a solid move, like 300 some point up to the upside. I think I like trimmed like half my position at around 100 some points, and then I just literally moved my stop loss to break even and I let it run. And when I woke up in the morning, it was still running. So that was probably like my biggest and longest trade. I think that was like what was that, a 15-hour hold trade or 16 hours? I can't remember. Yeah, just Velima. Yeah, man. It's tough, man. Like I think it's best to like look for accounts that like offer you the best drawdown to profit ratios, and kind of play it that way. And they're cheaper. Just because you can, as you build your confidence and you build your payouts, you can always look into hopping in to more later on. Like that's where I started. Right? I started with the 50K accounts, and if you guys, I'll probably post it about later on because people keep asking me about my Apex trade stuff. So I'll post it after the stream is done. But like that was a 50K Apex account, but I took that to an $80,000 payout. So don't underestimate what you can accomplish with the 50K account. You can do a lot of damage with that with a much better ROI. And then later on, you can always just scale up as you get better, right? Like I'm pretty sure Jake still agrees with this because it was something him and I talked about like a while ago. But he likes the 150K accounts because of the fact that the amount in terms of drawdown is necessary because of, especially because he likes to hold for larger moves, so it's important. Um, Yacht. No, not. I have not entered a trade during this part of the session yet. I exited my short trade earlier. I shorted gold actually. That was part of my trade recap earlier on when I was going through my overview. I shorted gold up from around my area of interest here, and I shorted it down. I trimmed at the level, and then I closed out my last one for at Goldback. So that was about a 23-point close on gold. I am looking for longs though right now, Yacht. If we're looking at gold, that's why I have this arrow drawn out. This was kind of like the setup that I was looking for. Rye guy, did you end up selling your gold longs or are you still in them? Oh, Robert, yeah, I know. I actually have had people ask me that question before too about the subscription. That's the reason why I like prop firms like Lucid because like the one time is amazing. I think when you're learning the craft, you don't want to be spending too much time on accounts that are just constantly resubscribing because it adds up. Like it adds up really quickly. What is it like to trade during a non-Trump market for traders learning to drink? Yeah, man, Jerry, if you're just starting to learn futures, I feel sorry. It's like it's been a very wild market. Generally, I'll tell you, like the Asia session, at least for the NQ, you usually don't get more than like 60 to 100 point moves, right? The fact that we're getting what we're getting right now is insane. There's pros and cons to it. I think that this is where like I would say that if you're learning during these conditions, you got to be patient with yourself. I can't emphasize that enough. You gotta just size down, focus on the craft of trading. Everyone is just trying to get rich quick, and that's the problem. You need to learn and refine your craft. You need to figure out what types of setups that you fare best with and work with that, right? Like otherwise, man, like it's not worth it, man. You're what it's gonna happen when you're learning is you're just gonna dig such a deep hole that by the time you have even figured out a strategy, you're so deep in the hole with your finances that you mentally can't even trade anymore, right? And you don't want to get into that position because it's hard to claw yourself out of that. Yeah, this is like unfortunately we're not getting a retest. We like sank right through it, so I'm not taking anything right now. I'm gonna leave it as is. You can honestly consider this as a continuation for shorts, but as I've told you guys many times before, I do not like breakout trades. So if I short this, I'd be taking a breakout short, right? So it's not my cup of tea. I'm just gonna leave it. I didn't get the setup. I skip. That's all. When I trade gold, I will usually go probably two. I think like NQ, I'm very comfortable with three. Gold, I think two because like as you can see, price moves pretty damn quick sometimes on gold. So I feel like I don't want to oversize that too much. Two is like a happy medium. I like two because you can trim for like 1 or 2 R and then let that last runner run. So I prefer that. Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, Nelly. If I do take a trade, you'll see it. You'll see it. That's what I'm saying. Like I'm telling you guys kind of what I'm looking for, and I didn't get what I was looking for, so I'm just not hopping into it right now. This is what people mean by in trading. It's a lot of times you're actually just waiting. You're just sitting and you're waiting, because I think a lot of times people just look at this stuff and they just go like, oh, a day trader means that you have to take a trade every single day. Wrong. I have gone through hours where I could stare at a chart and not click a single button, right? Like if you're asking me if I'm looking for a setup that I want, ideally that's what you're looking to do, right? Like I'm not just gonna take a trade. Like if it, especially on a funded account, I'm not just gonna take a trade willy nilly. If it's on an eval, sure, I don't mind shooting the shits and having fun with it. But yeah, a lot funded, I will definitely be a lot more careful with my entries. Three righteous ones. Yeah, if you're going to be looking at your trailing drawdown, that's why I run 1R trades. I know it's not sexy and I know it sucks, but I do 1R trades with TPT draw intraday trailing because it's just too risky to expose yourself to the market. Like you can literally blow your account with 2 to 3 trades if you're holding them for too long. So it just that's just my personal opinion. That's just how I get past them. Hey John, good work. Wasting no time getting right back into it. Oh man, Rye guy. That's a sensitive one, man. That's a sensitive one. That's still too fresh. That's a fresh wound. Yacht, your question about 50K for prop. Logic always will be for me is just $200 risk. If like you want 10 bullets in the chamber, so that's however you work that math out when you look at your contract to price ratio. That's generally what I would recommend for that. At least that's how I would look at it. Yeah, at least it's golden. Yeah, yeah, three righteous one. I'm reading the chat. I'm literally going up top to bottom right now, and I'm going through all your questions the best I can. Interesting right now, right? So you see this? Like we had a lot of push down and we're having a lot of volume to buy back this area right now. So it's really interesting to see this. Yeah, no. Not worth taking. Not worth taking. Nice, John. Hey, what's going on, Josh? So Peach, Globex so think about it this way, right? You got the New York opening print, you got the London, you got the Tokyo, which is the Asia opening print. Globex is representing the fact that the market just opened for the globe, hence Globex, right? So 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time is essentially when the futures market opens, and then from there on out, hour by hour, each different session opens. So 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time is Globex, and then now with daylight savings time, Tokyo opens at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is the Asia market. And if you actually go through it, if you search online, you'll see all the different periods of when different sessions open, and that's the reason why on any given chart you'll see the fluctuation of price and volume moving. It's because of different markets opening up at different times of the day. Oh, Baljeet, you shorted. Oh, nice. There you go. Nice little short on the NQ. Good work. Just reading through the chat, gang. No, Globex. Just reminder, guys. Globex and Tokyo Open are two different opens. They're not the same. Just reading your message here, Carrie. 2 to 3 microstring NQ. It took me 5 months to get my first payout. I think should I size up a little bit more? Continue doing what I'm doing. Thank you. So I think Carrie, I very distinct for different traders. Yes, taking forever to get a payout sucks. It feels hurt like very horrible. But I look at it as it's better to get paid out than to burn through accounts over and over and over again. Now, to your question about should I be sizing up, I think that comes down to your tolerance of risk, right? You have to, and this is where you have to be honest with yourself. If you think you can take on more risk and not tilt and not do dumb stuff on the market, then absolutely. I think that you can inch up your contracts bit by bit, right? To 4 micros, to 5 micros, to 6 micros, but go at your own pace. I don't think anyone else can really tell you whether it's the right thing to do or not. Because no one's gonna know you better than yourself. At least that's the hope, right? Sup ink trading? No, I haven't. I'm not in a trade. I exited my short trade already, and now I'm just kind of hunting for a long on gold. Just because I do think we're like due to retrace part of this move, but clearly, clearly right now it's just weak as hell can be. So it's one of those things where it's like I don't want to chase the shorts, and I don't have a setup for longs. So I'm just answering questions in the chat. I trade off the top step dashboard and I don't know how to do the 1-to-1 ratio. What do you mean by that, John? I don't really understand the question. If you're trading off top step, you trade off the top step dashboard, like as in like you don't trade on top step X. Is that what you're saying? Money bag, that 80K payout. That was 35 trading days. I think that was. I have to take a look. I'll post a video later on Instagram and you'll see it. But I think that was 35 days of trading was what that was. All my accounts, like if you over the course of my time, all the prop firms that I've capped out with, those accounts were always traded somewhere between like high 30s to like 60, 70, 80 days before I got capped out with them. Considering this wide stop long on NQ holding until close would be on a funded. NQ long. Okay. I see why you want to. I don't like where we're closing right now though, Josh. On the NQ. I'd want more. If you're just hopping in right now, guys, drop a like, please. Helps out the video, gang. Helps out the video. Just another reminder. I am going to be doing a giveaway here soon. We're into the hour now. Yeah, I don't like the way that we closed, Josh. If we had closed up here on that 5-minute candle, I would have been a little bit more like, yeah, let's see if we could take a long. But yeah, I don't like this. It looks like we're reclaiming prior resistance right now for a short, to be honest, on the NQ. And just so you guys know, when I say drop a like, it's not the heart on the chat. It's actually liking the video. Just FYI, guys. I think at least I think there's a difference between those two things.
It's a thumbs up.
Sorry, just catching up with the chat again here. Yeah, so Asia session. So generally speaking, I like to wait until the Tokyo Open. So I'll wait for like 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and then depending on where structure is formed on the chart, that will kind of decide for me whether or not I will want to take a trade. But generally speaking, like 5 to like 7 is a good time I find for myself, just based on what I'm doing and then also what the market's doing. Generally, the hour that just passed is actually one of the toughest times to trade, because it's just so slow. At least if this hour now that we're leading into the London Open, generally we'll get something decent from this. So we'll see. Yeah, so Top Step X, John, I mean, you can just kind of drag it. So I guess you'll have to elaborate on that question a little bit more. I'm not really too sure what you mean by I don't know how to do one-to-one, because you're essentially what you're doing is you're just dragging your profit target to, I don't know, 20 points, 30 points, but depending on what you're doing. And then you're just dropping your stop loss to the same amount. So you're just kind of equating the same risk to reward, if that makes sense. In terms of money bag, your question about the profits, um, I'd have to take a look back. I haven't had losses for sure during those 35 days, but in terms of losing days, I don't think so. I'd have to look back at my stats. I don't remember. I don't want to improperly quote myself. I don't remember, to be honest. But I had some really big days though on some of those on that account. Like once I had my buffer up, like when I actually had the drawdown to like truly risk, that's when I started having some big days. Like on that account, I had some like 8K days, 9K days on that Apex account. Question about, I think someone asked me a question about options trading. Yeah, I do trade options. I trade options during the New York session. I haven't recently as much, but historically I do. I like trading options because I usually get all of my futures trades in during the Asia session and London session. It's the reason why I don't bother trading futures during New York all so much. Now, obviously, when I'm on the road, trading futures is a lot easier than trading options because going through the brokerage and all that stuff is a lot more difficult. I see yacht 4788 for gold. Yeah, I have a level here at 4790 and then 4750. Yeah, gold just wants to just keep sinking, eh? We just don't want to do anything. 4785. I mean, we'll see what if gold gets down there as we head into London. Let's see what we do here. Chris, in terms of reviewing trades, I mean, I journal all my trades. So I use Trader Stats as my preferred trading journal. And so I log everything there. So I port everything there. I note down everything there. So I think that's important when you're like journaling, like to like, capture everything, like, the technical components, news. Some trading journals already provide you the news stuff, like Trader Stats already tells you what news took place that day. So it saves you a little bit of work there. But yeah, the technical stuff, the emotional stuff, I think it's important to capture everything, right? You got to treat this like a sport in a way where athletes train hard to do the things that they do, right? And so I think trading is no different. I think it's important for you to be relentless and be very surgical about how you look at trades, not just what a chart looks like, but also how you're feeling in the moment, right? I think it's important to capture those moments. Oh, sup, Eric. These are just like different market points. I put acronyms together for points, kind of like you see here. It says GOO. That's just Globex, right? I put acronyms together because for myself, if I don't, then I won't know what I'm looking at when I see all these different lines. They're just different market points. I don't like to blend all my reference points, my levels onto one side of the chart, because you can imagine if all these lines were on this chart, it would look like a cluster F, man. Like I wouldn't be able to. Adam, right now, So the levels beneath us, I have 47.90, 47.50, and 47.25. Now there's some decimal points like 47.95, sorry, 47.90.5, 47.50.6, and 47.25.7. So I have some of those levels beneath us. I have some other reference points that I have here marked as well, but we'll see. We'll see if what happens here. Yeah, gold really did take a poop. Yeah, there's so many different things to use for journaling, right? Like if you don't want to pay for something, like you can always like Wesley said, you can always look at Excel. I mean, if you're good at Excel, you could totally use that. I use like I don't use this for journaling, but I use Notion for like business. So sometimes I'll use Notion for like trading tools as well. Like I'll use that. So yeah, really, I don't think there's a right or wrong, man. It comes down to kind of what you're looking for, what you want. It's a tricky long on the NQ there. Let's take a look here. I just saw in the FF indicator as well. Gold, that gold short there was actually, that gold lower high short was very clean. For the guys who are in the chat who use the FF indicator, you know what I'm talking about. It like literally retested the 5-minute trigger line. Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad. Yeah, man. Take advantage of the free trial, man. If you got questions, you can feel free to ask. You're long right now, Vincent, on 26827 NQ. Okay. Okay. Nice. Nice. Let's go. Let's go. Hopefully this long plays out for you, brother. Yeah, the FF indicator, my man, is this. This is the FF indicator. So the trigger line that I was talking about is this. You can see here on the right hand side here, this is the trigger line. So it basically, you can see here immediately, we came up to the line and we rejected and went right back down. And we haven't done that since pretty much earlier today at like 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is over here. Yeah. Long at 824. Man, we got lots of guys in longs here. Let's go, guys. Let's get it. So this is like one of those things where it's like I like that it's like respecting my levels here that I have marked, but I just didn't like the bar by bar that was setting up there. So I just personally didn't want to take it. But congrats to anyone who caught that long, man. Nice push up here. Lots of volume coming into those candles as well. Yeah, Goofy, I could totally see that, man. That's what I was saying to you earlier. I want to see us come up to all-time highs area here, and I want to see if we have if it presents us a short opportunity. That or it's going to be a continuation for longs. So in about 20 minutes, I'll probably do the giveaway for the account as well, guys. 20 minutes. If you haven't already, drop a like on the video. Thumbs up, guys. Thumbs up for the video. Help a brother out. Longing ES. It's crazy to see ES back in the 7,000s, man. I don't trade ES ever, but just seeing it at 7,000 is crazy. No, I mean, I don't see shorts happening right now. Like I would need some bar confirmation here. We got quite a bit of room here, guys, before we even like think about that either. I mean, even from here to the highs, right? We still got about 35 points on the table here. For myself right now, I only I stream just this part of it basically from 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to midnight. Now, every single night, I've always gone over 15 minutes just because I'm just always curious what London does afterwards. Um, but yeah, this is my session. Ron G is the person who streams the Open of the Asia session. If you actually look on this YouTube, I think there's schedules on there. Or if you follow any of us on IG, you'll always get the updates because we'll generally post it a lot. But there's 5 of us who stream, and this is basically the period that I'm streaming. Hey, what's going on, Alex? Thanks for tuning in, bro. Interesting. Yeah, I think using previous day price action is always valuable. As always, I would say that nothing is ever just black and white to say that I use this and this only. But I think it runs well in conjunction with other facets for sure. So for some of the newer guys that are hopping into the stream, my perspective on when I trade, because I trade all the sessions, and I've had my most success obviously over Asia, but generally speaking, whatever session we're trading, we should always kind of look at the prior session. Treat every session like you flipping through a page of a book, because every single session that you run is going to leave footprints behind, and that those footprints are valuable for us to look into when we're trading the market. So yes, uh, I would always look for prior days. In terms of like reference points, I mean, there's just a lot, right? Like there's opening prints, there's like levels, and then like depending if you're an hourly level trader, 4 hour trader, there's so much. There's so much, right? I think that like primarily I like hourly just because I like to be consistent with what I look at, but honestly, you could any of them would work out. So we've reclaimed the level on gold, but can't be trusted yet. Nice job, Moneybag. Let's go. Just double checking something in the chat here. Cool. All right. Man, gold is just getting pummeled today. I'm actually kind of curious if one of my students is still in his short because I know he shorted like earlier as well, but he held it. I'm pretty sure he held it longer than I did. Let's reach out. Let's find out. Are you still in your short? NQ short NQ stop at 860 per for me. What's making you want to short the NQ, my friend? Josh, you and I literally just asked the same question at the same time. You're in a gold short at 4804. 4804. Looking for a move to 4790. Okay. Okay. No, man. Nah, man. I just literally I was just reading through the chat and I saw that question. I was like, oh, or that comment. Sorry. 26,866 for target. What makes you want 28,866, brother, for that NQTP? I personally would have it at like 63 versus 66 just to play it safe, but we'll see what the NQ does here. Yeah, I think whenever you're like looking to like short in these kind of conditions, like where we are right now in the NQ, you really just have to manage your expectation. Like if you're like, hey, I'm going to short for like 10, 15 points, then sure. But trying to get like a long move sometimes it's just a little bit dicey. Obviously, if you've got like a strategy as to why that makes sense, then power to you. Man, gold. Gold is just taking a beating. Top three prop firms. I would say Lucid for sure. My Fight at Futures and probably Tradeify would probably be the three. That would be my kind of, and that's just all based on like things like fast payouts, solid dashboard, customer service, flexible rules, affordable accounts, all those type of things. That's kind of why I would say. Um, I like Take Profit Trader, but the reason why I give the comments that I say is because Take Profit Trader is not for the faint of heart. The daily payouts are exceptional and amazing, and I love them. But I think in most cases, a lot of people struggle with intraday trailing drawdown. So it's just not one I usually bring up a lot with students or people in general. Sorry. Just checking something here. Sorry, I'm just checking some stuff out here, guys. Be right there in a bit here. All right. Sorry, I'm back now. Yeah, so in terms of prop accounts, depending on which ones you're looking at, if you've never traded with Lucid before, it should be 50% off still. I think they have that for like brand new traders. The range of discounts really depends. 40% is quite common right now, like 40 and 30%, depending which one you do. So like I know people ask me about Take Profit Trader. If you're using Take Profit Trader, code RT will give you 40% off and then also zero activation fee. The rapid plans, yeah, the rapid plans are good. I mean, they're essentially take profit trader accounts, right? If you think about it, they're intraday trailing drawdown. So yeah, they're good. No complaints there on that one. So for Bev, um, yeah, once you get past the buffer period, there's no more intraday trailing drawdown. It's just getting to that stage that's very, very hard. All right, I'm gonna do the giveaway actually for the gang now. I just need to take a look at how many likes we got on the stream. We got about 175 of you guys on right now, so it means that 60 of you guys have not liked this video, guys. Come on, can you drop some thumbs up here? Let's rack up the thumbs up here before I rock this giveaway for the gang. Drop some likes, guys. Drop some likes. I want to get to like 150 or something here. We're at 126 right now. We need about 24 likes, and then we'll get this giveaway going. Yeah, keep dropping those likes. Keep dropping those likes. Free space. Your the daily loss limit. So for Apex, you can either go intraday trailing or you can go end of day drawdown. So it depends on which accounts you go for. So that's a new thing for Apex that they offer now. And then in terms of like drawdown for intraday, basically, if you think about it, it's a moving barometer. So it's like if you move like $600 in profit, whatever your drawdown was before, it moves up $600 as well. So it's kind of like in theory, let's just say your drawdown's 2,000. Okay, if your profit moves $2,000 in profit, and then it comes back to your entry, that automatically will blow your account because your entry point now is acting as your original 2K drawdown base, if that makes sense. I will be aggressive if the market presents an opportunity, but no, I wouldn't just blindly go after those trades just to try to get through the buffer. Just because it gets expensive, right? We had 140 likes, guys. Can we get 10 more, guys? Let's get 10 more. Basically, I am going to ask you guys to drop W's in the chat, and we'll do that, but not yet though, because I want to make sure we get to at least 150 likes before I get this thing going. Thank you. Took a cheesy short. Now I'm late to the party, but took a let's get that half. Gold shorts. Yeah, they were good. They were good. Spit on it, smash it. That's awesome. That's awesome. We are 3 likes away, guys. 3 likes away. Push the down button. Push the down button, guys. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? 148, guys. We're at 148. I'll answer that question. A plus setup. So generally speaking, I look for if I'm looking for reversal trades, I like my double tops and bottoms. If I'm looking for continuation, obviously I love my higher lows. But it really depends if we're in ranging condition, trending conditions. I'm very big on bar by bar analysis. So like if bars don't look good, I won't take it. This long is a really great example of that. Like even though I liked where we were holding on the NQ, I didn't take it because I didn't have bar confirmation to take the trade, at least for my style of trading. So I basically sat on hands on this one, but it was good. Solid hold of the area though. All right, all right. Just got here and you pushed it right on. You understood your assignment. All right, gang. Let's drop some W's in the chat here, and I'll give it about 30 seconds, and then I will get a winner announced for you guys. W's in the chat. This is for a 50K account with E8 Trading. All right, E8 Trading. Let's see what we do here, guys. Let's see what we do here. How we doing? How we doing? How we doing? All right, all right. I think we are good. All right, the winner. We got our winner here. We got our winner. Rye Guy, my man, you are the winner for this giveaway. We're good, we're good, we're good, we're good. Congratulations, Rye Guy. You are the winner of this 50K account. So I think you know what to do. Hit my DMs on Instagram. I'm going to drop my Instagram link here. That's my Instagram link. Just spamming it there so that you guys have it. Just DM me there. And after the stream is over, I will get that account over to you, man. I will get that account over to you. Congrats. Congrats. Yeah, y'all spamming that still. Y'all still spamming. Man, I really thought that we would have had a long opportunity by now on gold, but we just are like, we're just not having it today. We're just not having it. Uh, Vaishnavam. Why can't I join the Discord? What Discord are you trying to join into? If you're referring to Rake's Discord, then you should be able to just follow the link on YouTube and it will get you right there. If not, give me a second here. See if I can send you a link here. I think this is the link that's going to show up. I don't know if it shows up properly though. Does that link bring you to it? Oh no, it doesn't. Let me delete that link. Sorry. Remove. That does not work. Yeah, you can get on the Discord though, on the YouTube link there, guys. All right, what are we doing here? Looking for NQ shorts right now at 8:59. I think that we are already kind of starting to create that move now on gold. Oh, sorry, not gold. Sorry, on the NQ. So, I mean, I think if price were to come back to 8:59, I don't think it's worth shorting anymore. If price comes back up there, I think we're going to keep moving higher. So right now, I'd like to see how price holds here for NQ. Like if we want longs, this is ideally where we want to hold and keep moving from here. Long, I mean, we're in a very bullish market right now, right? If you take a look at the larger time frames, NQ is just pummeling right now. So I think shorting it is like whenever you're counter trending a trade, it's always risky. Like if you read any of the books about bar by bar, reversal trades are the lowest probability trade setups you can take. Moneybag, your question about time frame confirmation for a double bottom. Can you rephrase that a little bit? Or what do you mean by that? What's that question referring to? Ah, gotcha. I would say 5 minutes. You know, two minute, 5 minute would be ideal. Um, Obviously, I think that I'll take what the market will offer sometime. 2 to 5 minutes is good for like the intraday session, but if you're looking for like the larger time frames, like yeah, there's going to be opportunities for that, and there's validity for taking those double bottoms as well. In terms of like levels, I mean, we got lots. I mean, it depends on what you're referring to as well, right? We got the levels here. I got opening prints, right? All-time high marker points, right? Um, Prior session at reference points. I got a lot of different things here, and I do it not because I use all of them at once, but it's just one of those things where when price is moving, I just like to know why it's moving, where it's moving, so I kind of pay attention to everything. Um, but yeah, I know, and so this is the dangerous part, right, guys? Like you might just be thinking like, oh, Alan, like it's obviously short. Why don't you just short? I don't like chasing trades, right? So chasing trades more often than not just tends to kill me. And when I'm taking a look at this, it's like, you know what, we keep going, we keep going. I just don't want to be the guy that ends up catching the wrong lower high and then get wrecked for it, right? So for now, it's for me, it's more so just about watching where price is to see if we have an opportunity to take something. For those who are just tuning in right now, I have a 4K buffer on this account already from trading the Asia session. I shorted gold earlier already. I trimmed for about 14 points and then I trimmed again for 26 points. So I'm pretty content. You might ask, Alan, why don't you hold for longer? I mean, again, I have no I have no crystal ball to know when this is going to stop, and I was very happy with what I had achieved already on the market. And I also longed the New York session earlier today. So overall, I don't want to over push and overstay my welcome. I know, right? Jeez. Oh man, I'm so tense right now. I know Jake Ritchie is the one who will be live for the New York session, and also with Mitch, as well as with Christian afterwards. Or is it the other way around? I always get the time frame mixed up, but it will not be me. I don't stream the New York session. Each of us took a different period of time, actually, just for what works for us. All right, so seeing how I'm kind of like just waiting for moves at this moment. I guess for some of you guys who just joined in and you guys were asking questions, um, for New York, just to kind of give you guys a little bit of an idea of what I traded on the New York session. Um, if you watched my last stream, and apologies if you've been here, you probably feel like this is reiteration, but I got some new guys hopping in here, and I want to make sure I answer some of these questions. If you popped into my yesterday's stream, I talked about the 739 area of interest and the 793 area of interest. So I was watching that from yesterday's session already. Obviously, we ended up ranging back and forth, so we never got the move, unfortunately. But the New York session offered that, right? We had a nice double top of that 793 area. And after that, we also had a reclaimed price back beneath the 739 area of interest. And from there, it offered a good short opportunity to the downside. Now, I didn't take the short over the New York session. I actually took the longs instead. And so for me, after we had reclaimed back above the level and the Globex opening print here, I actually took my entry at the break above the candle here, and I trimmed my contracts for 30 points here, and I closed for 60 points just pretty much beneath the VWAP. So if you do the math, one mini for 30 points, the other mini for 60 points, that's about an $1,800 trade, which I locked in. And then over the Globex session here, I took a short on gold. Again, part of this big factor of why I wanted to short was because we had just recovered. What we had was that gap down on gold. We kind of came back up and held the price beneath. And I didn't top this trade because I didn't feel comfortable. I mean, for all I know, we could have continued launching back further higher and higher. So for here, basically what I ended up taking instead was that as soon as we held below the VWAP, below the Globex opening print, reclaimed beneath the 200 EMA, I then took my short trade over here, and that's where I said I made the comment that I had shorted, and I trimmed for about 13 points, give or take, around here, and then I closed my last contract out about for 23 points over here. So that's the gold trade that I took earlier on. I took it with some decent size as well, so hence why the buffer and all that, because I actually went into this trade with 3 minis originally, and I trimmed one up here, and then I trimmed I trimmed two up here, and then I trimmed the last one at the bottom there. So hence my 4K buffer that I have right now. Giveaway, when we do, we'll provide instructions. I gave away the account already for tonight's session, so what platform are you using? Are you referring to like this screen you're seeing in front of you? This is TradingView. If you're asking about brokerage, then I trade with Tradeovate. I just link the Tradeovate to TradingView. That's how I trade. Let's say a 15-minute BS setup, 5 minutes is in downtrend, most likely during 15-minute pullback. How often would you take a 5-minute fail to go lower versus a 5-minute potential high low, or waiting for a trend flip to happen first and then look for? Can I just double check because I don't want to assume? What do you mean by BS? What does that acronym stand for you? I get the pullback, I get the potential higher low, but what does BS mean to you? Ah, okay. I was just like, when you said BS setup, I was like literally, I was thinking like bullshit. So then I was like, wait, what? Okay. In terms of setup, what I'm, that's exactly what I was thinking, guys. So I think this really depends on like, so for now, for example, let's look for gold, right? Ideally for me, I first and foremost, the double bottom pattern usually sets up the candles for me so that it makes sense for me to take that long. I like the potential higher low, so it's kind of like even like for right now, right? If we want to see a reclaim, I would personally want to see gold come back up and break above that lower high area, come back down, test this, create a potential higher low, and I would long from here. Like essentially that's what I would personally want if I was to long this. Otherwise, anything that I would take is you're just stabbing, right? And just remember, guys, right? The trend's your friend. I know you guys have probably heard this so many times, but it's so true. I used during my more newbie days of trading, I used to fight the trend so hard, and I have blown so many accounts trying to fight the trend. It just doesn't make a lot of sense, right? That's the reason why right now, even though I'm saying, hey, I want to take a reversal trade on gold, notice that I'm not just hopping into them randomly because I don't have confirmation to take it right now, which is the reason why I'm waiting. And then the other question is, why aren't you just shorting then, Alan? Isn't it obvious? Just short. It's such a bearish market. Like, what are you waiting for? Well, I'm sorry, but as far as my system go, I don't have a reason to short right now. And because anything I take at this point is a risk. I've been in the position where I've chased trend moves, and it's just the untimely factor that I short on the wrong moment. So I just don't want to be that guy. Yeah, yeah, man. Gold's doing what gold wants to do. So don't mess with that. Don't mess with gold. Yeah, man. Trader stats. Here, you know what? Let me just pull it up, guys. Give me 1 second, okay? I just trader stats, trader stats. Where is my trader stats? I'm just logging in, gang. Just give me a sec. Okay. I have not screen shared this one before, so I need to see how this is going to show up. Give me a second here, guys, okay? I'm just switching my screen here. Do you guys see that? Yeah, you guys do, right? You guys should. How does this work? Yeah, does this not look good? Give me a second, guys, okay? I'm just gonna move the screen around. Give me a second. Apologies, guys. Apologies, guys. I gotta move this thing into frame. I don't trade silver personally. Sorry, guys. I'm like trying to get this thing to work and it's not working. I am having technical difficulties. Give me a second, gang. All right, there you go. Okay. My trading style, I would say foundationally, I learned with him many years ago. So there are a lot of things that you will find very similar. But as many of the streamers, as we call us, the Avengers, many of us have actually adjusted our styles to what makes sense for us. I've seen references to like fair value gaps and stuff like that with some other traders. We got other individuals who use things like gamma and all that stuff to trade as well. So it really kind of comes down to like what each trader kind of likes. But I have evolved since then. Um, so in terms of trader stats, so this is kind of like the journal, and so you can kind of see. So this was my last month's performance. You go through the stats and all that type of stuff. And what you can do is you can go through the calendar as well. And when you go through the calendar, you can actually take a look and see all the different types of things, right? So trades, whatever. And so when you hop into the calendar, for example, like I'm just gonna flip through some trades from like I'm just gonna pick a random month here. So November, like I had a record trade here in November. This was the 14th. That was record trading day. So I took 5 trades and I was able to lock in one of my biggest trades ever. At that time, that was my record day. So if I click on that, it's going to open up and it's going to show me my day. So I had an 80% win rate day this day. It's going to show me all the specifics and what have you. And so when I scroll down here, I can take a look and see it's so right now it's just loading up right now. You can see one of my first trade here. So this was a big one. I took it on my Top Step account. And you can see here that I shorted basically during the Tokyo Open, and I held that for almost 11 hours actually. And that was a 225-point trade. So what you'll see here is you'll see my short entry, like on the trader stats, you'll see where I entered my trade, where I exited my trade, and then as well as you'll also see notes that I may have taken at the time. So for example, and so I also want to preface the fact that I'm not as detailed with my notes now compared to where I was before. And that's just more so because like I have for the most part refined and defined my edge as a trader. So I'm not as obsessive as I once was. But if I go through this, right, you'll see like, oh, as a short trade, I had a bear flag pattern, opening range held beneath level, key EMAs, bar by bar alignment with MTFA. I'm willing to manage this trade with a trend with final PT at a key macro level. Stop loss was moved to lower high before heading to bed so that profits were protected because as you can see, it hit at 3:12 a.m. So I once I had set my position to a lower high. I'm like, I can't keep watching this. I got to go to bed. So I went to sleep. And when I woke up, I'm like, oh, my target hit. And so that's essentially what happened here. That's where I got my 9K trade. And then I will mark down my emotions. Like, I was calm, composed, no outside distractions, those type of things. Right. So this is a very like bare bone journal entry, but this is like an example of how Trader Stats works. And so you can go through stuff like you can go through payouts, for example, and you can see like these are the payouts that I've achieved over the last little while. I actually need to update some of this because I've taken some payouts recently that I haven't uploaded. But then, so you can track everything, right? And then all my student stuff is down here. Like I'm not going to go through some of this because obviously it's confidential to the students that I work with. But that kind of gives you a sense of like what this kind of looks like. So hopefully that kind of makes sense. That's just kind of me going through like a high level overview. Hopefully that kind of answers the question. I don't remember who asked the question about trader stats anymore, but hopefully that made sense. No, that's not my TPT dashboard. That's my trader stats. Someone was asking about the journal. This month's been a little bit whack. It's a little bit skewed actually for me too because one of the things that I've been trying to do as a mentor is I'm trying to broaden my horizons of understanding as a trader. And what I mean by that is that like I obviously have my system of trading. I know what I like. I know how to coach and train people's psychology and all those type of things, right? Because I heavily even in the business world, that's where a lot of my expertise comes in is in psychology. I'm not institutionally credited in any way or form. It's just a passion of mine. I won't go through my life story, but that's a big part of it. But what was I trying to get at here with the sorry, I just like literally lost my train of thought. Oh, the month. This month I started actually trying to learn more about scalping. So I've been studying scalping as its strategy in terms of like what do people look for when they're looking for scalping, whether we're looking at different indicators or different price movements and different time frames. And so I actually trialed a lot of trades in this month. So my win rate isn't as hot as it normally is. Like usually my win rate's in the 70 percentile, but this month my win rate's like 60%. And that's because I took a disgusting amount of trades this month practicing how to scalp trade. So that has hurt my stats a lot. But again, not the biggest deal in the world. I myself know why my stats are that way, and that's really all that matters in the end of the day. I'm not trying to prove anything to anyone else in that regard, but you can see actually I'll show you guys what I was referring to actually. Give me a second here. You guys see that? I don't know if I have to zoom in or not. Hold on. It's kind of blurry. You can kind of see here, right, guys? 92 trades, 89 trades, 116 trades. Like, I don't usually trade like this, as you can see, but I was scalping the crap. So that was like a lot. That affected my win rates quite a bit. So you can see here my win rate was like, what is it? 60%. Yeah, like it's not the best win rate, but it's again, it's part of the game, right? I'm just kind of dabbling around and playing with that. But anyways, there's that. Let me switch my screen back again. So that's that. It's really hard for me to trade in this market level. We just go straight up. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like Mr. J Babes that you the struggle for you is trend trading, right? I guess you're constantly thinking that it's going to reverse, and I think that's probably a little bit of the challenge for you. Is that fair to say? Why don't you replay to practice your scalping? What do you mean by that, Ozera? Nice job, Goofy. Have a good night, brother. Oh, yeah, no, scalp trading is not my cup of tea, man. It's I find it like it really brings out the old like emotional roller coasters that I used to get trading. So it's tough. Like I think it's hard to judge too because there's still so much that I would need to learn about the concepts of scalping for me to like really fall in love with it. So yeah, not yet, man, not yet. I think that when you're trading the trend, right, there's always going to be smaller time frame pullbacks that you can take advantage of and trade the larger move. I think the tougher part is that when you see moves that happen like the one that we're having now. I mean, like you take a look at the NQ, right? I mean, let me just move this down to one time frame so you guys can see this. But like, I mean, like look at this. It is wild, right? Like, let's delete all this so it's a little cleaner to look at. Like, look at this move, right? You're obviously everyone here is waiting for some sort of a pullback and at some point, right, I think that's where the pullback could be quite hard if it does. We just don't know when that's going to happen. I mean, for all we know, the pullback might not happen until like up here, and we come back down. So it's hard to say. Who's to say that we don't hit 28,000 before we come back down, right? Who knows? So that is a little hard, right? That's what makes this very difficult, obviously, for us. Um, Rule of thumb is just trade the trend, man. You just trade the trend. Like right now, like that's what I was saying. Like we can look for short opportunities on the NQ right now, which I can understand why someone would want to take that right now. I think the risk in entering a short, and so this is one of those things where we talk about time of day trading, is that if you try to short right now, the risk is that we are 11 minutes from London Open. So that London Open could have that spike of volume that sweeps the highs before it comes back down. So that's why for me, naturally, even though this looks like it's kind of resisting here and looking good for shorts, I wouldn't really want to do that. Just catch up with the chat here. Yeah, right, guy. Finding the happy medium is super helpful for sure. Hey man, Mr. J Babes. I mean, yeah, if you recognize that you are better at balanced markets, that you got to know that about yourself, right? Sometimes that also just means that you just have to be able to be disciplined enough to either size down significantly during market conditions that are not the ones you like, um, and you just got to sit on or just sit on your hands, right? So oh, Zara. Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah, I mean, we do look at backtesting strategies, but for me, just backtesting isn't enough. You have to forward test, right? Because forward testing your strategy is also what puts your strategy into motion, so that you can see whether or not you actually have the emotional bandwidth to actually take your strategy to the real time markets, right? So a wild missing go appeared on Bro's chart. What does that even mean? What's some good advice on holding winners longer to get bigger trades? I tend to break even a lot when trying to hold. I think that when you're looking for longer hold trades, first and foremost, the market has to present those opportunities. So you have to, obviously, when you're taking a look at things, right? Are you looking for a retracement? Like, so many people have different opinions on this, right? Are you looking to catch a level to level move? Are you looking to retrace back to VWAP? Are you trying to retrace back to the 50% Fibonacci retracement? Like, I think there's so many factors of that. More than anything, I think it's when you're holding for trades, you just can't be holding it for the sake of being like, you can't hold it for the scoreboard. You can't be doing it because, oh, I want 100 points, so I'm gonna hold for 100 points. The question you have to ask yourself is, does the market structure currently even present 100 points, right? In some of the past sessions that I've been talking about over the charts, I've been referring to the fact that if the session itself hasn't even moved 100 points, why do you think you can catch 100 points, right? So it's just, sometimes you just got to manage your expectations so that you better understand that. Trade for NQ mini, some candles not showing the right color. The right color is on micro and trading view. Oh, interesting. Yeah, it's so whack, man, sometimes with these chart platforms. I know, eh? Right, guy? What is this? Yeah, I think waiting for London opens the safer bet at the moment in time, man. Overcoming, so an Onam, risk management, man. Like, I think that first and foremost, its sizing is a big factor. I think a lot of traders come into this space wanting to make money and make money fast, and I think that's where it all goes wrong for you, because you're so obsessed with like trying to get a payout as fast as you can that you lose sight of the fact that, do you even have the emotional control and bandwidth to even manage that? And so I think that that kind of plays a big factor in that. I would say, or what, a big part of the reason why I'm able to manage my emotions better now than I did before is because I know my edge. I understand my expected value as a trader, and I talk about this a lot with students. Is that if you don't understand your expected value, then you're always going to feel like you're gambling. So I think that for me has played a big factor on how I've been able to hold those trades for longer. What's up? What's up? How's it going, Chelsea? Frankie, you can always reach me on the DMs if you want to inquire. I know people ask about this question a lot. Um, Working with me isn't about going through a class or anything like that. Of course, I'm more than happy to put someone through a whole education program, but I call it a mentorship because it's exactly what it sounds like. It's one-on-one time. Some new traders would want to go through like a full program with me, which basically means they go through my whole system, they learn it, and then we spend one-on-one time together. I also work with traders who've been trading for 5 to 10 years. Those traders sometimes aren't looking for a system, they're just looking for someone to work with, for whether it's accountability reasons, refinement of strategy. Maybe they just don't know how to overcome some psychological things, so we kind of work together on that. So it really depends, right? So just hit my DMs. I drop my Instagram link in the chat there. So if you can always reach out, we can always set up time and see if I'm the right fit for what you're looking for, right? Because yeah, I think everyone's looking for something different. So I don't ever tell people that I'm the right guy for everyone, because that might not be true depending on what your challenges are that you're facing as a trader, right? I'm just like looking at gold right now, and like it's just one of those things where I'm like, man, even if I were to like take a trade for longs, I have to manage my expectations that you're not gonna get a big that big of a move. Sometimes the hardest part in trading for us is waiting, man. I know it's tough, but it really is the truth. Oh, sorry, Leos. Or Lios, I think. I won't butcher your name, but I just saw your question there. Entering too early or chasing the trade. I mean, I think your strategy would define whether you're chasing or you're not, right? Some people like to take the breakout trade, so they like the moment price breaks above a key area, they'll enter the trade immediately. Some people want to wait for a candle close. It really comes down to what your preference is. Generally, I like to have a candle close to give me a confirmation, and then maybe I would like to take a breakout follow through. But I'll never just take a breakout candle as my signal. Like that's not my style of trading. It doesn't mean it can't be yours though. I think in this trading space, Ivan, man, like prop firms are can help you do that already, right? So I mean, you can get a prop account for like under $100 today, and that could get you through the evaluation, get you funded, and all that, right? So I always say this as well. Like you have no idea, and actually, you guys probably get it too, because there's just a lot of people in the space just trying to make money fast, and it's just, honestly, it's not a realistic expectation. So I find that there's been quite few people who have reached out to me in the past, wanting to work with me, and the problem is that they're coming to me thinking that it's just going to be a hail mary. They'll be like, "Oh, here, take my money because I'll give you everything I've got because I want to get rich tomorrow." I mean, they don't say that, but that's essentially what they're implying. Is like, "Here's my life savings. I hope that after I work with you, I'm going to suddenly become like the richest guy in the world." That's not how it works. Where I think any trader that's going to sell you the fallacy of like, "Oh, you know what, like you work with me, I'll get you there tomorrow," or whatever, like that's such an unrealistic expectations. In the business world, when I work with restaurant entrepreneurs, you have no idea how many times people come to me and say, "Hey, Alan, like, do you think I could, be an entrepreneur? Do you think I could be a business owner? I want to start a restaurant or I want to start a coffee shop." And a lot of times I'll ask them some like very critical questions about like, this is the life of a restaurant owner. These are the margins that you deal with. These are the liabilities that you work with on a day-to-day basis. Do you think you have what it takes to do that? And once you start asking those questions, people are like, "Oh, these are things that they're not even thinking about." I think trading's the same thing. I think people come into this with this an expectation of like, "Oh, if I work with someone, I'm suddenly going to be, successful." I think if you work with the right mentor, I think it could carve out a lot of the time. Like maybe something that may have taken you a couple of years might only take you half the time. So maybe you save some time. But regardless, I think anyone who comes into this thinking that I'm just going to be a successful trader in a year, I don't think that's a realistic expectation. A lot of that also has to do with market conditions. One of the guys in the chat, I don't know if you're still in the chat right now, but he had asked the question like, how do you trade Trump conditions, and what does it feel like to trade market conditions when Trump's not in presidents, right? And I think that in itself, that question answers my comment about why just thinking that you could be successful in 1 year is not true, because there are so many different market cycles that if you've never been through the market cycles, you won't understand, right? I myself haven't even been trading that long, right? Like I've been trading for a little over 5 years, so I've seen the Trump administration, I've seen the Biden administration, so I've seen that, right? But again, I've seen the ebbs and flows and what those market conditions offer for us, and what price action looks like. So it's important that we understand that that is the reality is that you may be successful in one condition, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be successful in the next condition, especially if you don't truly understand your expected value as a trader. Yeah, Chris, 100%, man. There are so many like familiarities in entrepreneurship, right? Like, business owners who want to get into the restaurant industry and trading. There are a lot of psychological and human characteristics that help you get through it. Like, personally, for me, when I think about my corporate career and my restaurant business career, a big part of why I've been successful has been my ability to connect at a human psychological level with people. And I think that's the same reason why I've been able to also manage my expectations and emotions when it comes to trading, is that I have a good understanding of what it takes and what it means, right? So, anyways, yeah, just a couple bits of my 2 cents on that. London session's about to open in 20 seconds here, guys. Anyone in a trade right now? Or is everyone waiting for London to open? By the way, if this is your first time tuning in, you'll see in the top left hand corner, I like to have these little hot links for not hot links, sorry, hotkeys for trading. You can enter trades a lot faster that way. Are you in both those trades right now, Josh? Oh, damn. So close to your PT, man. So close for that gold PT. Oh, Josh, you sharpshooter. Yeah, Ivan, you probably hopped on a little bit later. I did the whole trade recap already. I took an NQ long over New York and I took a gold short already over Asia. I'm already out of my trade though. I didn't know how far gold was gonna go, so I didn't want to hold it for any longer. So that's actually how I built my 4K buffer on my Take Profit Trader account right now, which is the account that I have on right now at this very moment. I'm going to take a quick stab on NQ shorts. Let's see here. I'm going to take a stab at this. Risky here, but we are holding beneath the level right now, so I'm going to take a stab at this. I'm going to see if I can trim for 1R if we do get follow through on this move. Order rejected. Why did the order reject? Oh, did I type in the wrong number? Oh, I typed in 21. No wonder. Makes a lot more sense. All right, I'm going to short. I'm going to look for 1R trim here for about 14.5 points. And then I'm going to see if I can hold for 24 points for the last one. Not looking for a lot, guys. I got, again, managing expectations here. All right, we got 1R trim right there. 15 points are locked in right now. So that's good. So no matter whatever I've got now, the trade is risk free now. If it comes back and hits my stop loss, the trade is break even. If I continue to hit my target, then I'll be in the green even more. So far, we've got about 14.5 points locked in. So that's about just a little under $300 on that one mini contract. If I can hit this one as well, then I'm going to hit about 500. So in total, this trade will be worth about $800 to me if I hit both targets right now. So let's see what we do here. It's risky for me to keep holding. I mean, that bounce makes a lot of sense, to be honest. Might be a little greedy here, but all good. Managing expectation. My Bay Gold, I really thought we were going to be able to catch like a really nice long reversal on gold tonight. I'm sorry, guys. It didn't really play out the way I wanted to. Come on, 5-minute candle. Let's get a nice push down here on the NQ. When you know, I see that you guys made the comment like, man, you moved fast. Just remember that once you get a sense of like what you like and what you want to trade on the market, you won't hesitate. Like you'll take it just because you know it's the right call for you. So we're holding the 200 EMA right now. Oh, there you go. That's target hit. So I'm out of the position already. So guys, just quick recap here. We shorted, right? We kind of had this double top on the level here. And we were starting to really die out here. The opening, we didn't really even have much buying pressure coming in clearly here. So I risked my 14.5 points. I trimmed for 1R here. So that was about 300 bucks. And then I got my 24 point hit here, which is about 500 bucks. So in total, that was about an $800 trade. So within, what is that, 2 minutes, 4 minutes, 3 minutes? What time is it right now? 4 minutes. In about 4 minutes, we locked in about $800, 2 minis, obviously, on that trade. And just for transparency purposes, you can see this might take Profit Trader Pro account. My balance is $5,230 now. So that will be basically the payout that I'm going to request tomorrow after the market's closed. I'll stay on for a little bit longer. I know I'm past my session already, but I'm just going to hang here. Let's just see what the market does. Thanks, Red Guy. Thanks, Robert. What's gold doing? Is gold still being gold? Hey, who was that was in a gold short earlier? Your target hit. I forgot who was in that gold trade earlier. Whoever you are, I think your target hit now, right? Yeah, let's go. Good work, man. Good work. Glad you caught that gold trade in. Yeah, I'm a very stoic trader, dude. I don't I that's why I said I think I said this in my last stream or the stream before. I'm not the guy that's gonna be like, no, let's go, let's go, let's go. It's not my style. I'm just really focused. Actually, even the amount of talking that I'm doing right now, it's more so just because obviously I want to provide some value and education to you guys. But a lot of times for myself, I don't even say anything. I'm very like focused on the chart when I'm trading. Entering NAS now again. I'm assuming you mean NQ. Yeah, I know. It's not my it's not my thing, man. Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. Thanks for tuning in, man. Have a great day or good night, depending on what time zone you're in. Yeah, I'm not trusting that long on VWAP right now, to be honest. I'm not saying that it can't move, but I don't trust it. Come on, gold. You got any life in you? Look at that gold, man. Just what a sell off today. What a sell off. Do I dare long this just for shits? Should I do it? Is it risky? Maybe. What would that risk be? 700 bucks. So I would basically risk what I just made. Nah, not a good idea. That doesn't look good. Even if it moves, it's not a setup I would normally take. Hey, what's going on, man? Welcome. Brazil. Awesome, dude. Love it. Yeah, my trust issues here with the NQ, man. That's why I didn't feel good about that bounce. Let's see, what are we looking at? Yeah, NQ. Looks pretty bearish to me right now. I know. I actually made that mistake yesterday. I was like, I had no reason to take any trades, but I was like, we're at the end of the day. I was like, why not? Let's just wing a trade. Let's go long, and that was a horrible trade. So I definitely won't. That honestly, I'm learning about streaming as well because like I've never streamed before. Like this whole thing that we started, Project 365, is the first time I've ever streamed. So I'm not used to people like just chatting with me while I'm trading. Like it's not a thing I'm used to. So this whole experience is a learning thing for me. That was Chris. I think I probably did 80% of those were probably over the Asia session, and then the remaining was over New York. I think. Thanks, Alex. I appreciate that, man. Oh, look at that. It's starting to move. Does Alan feel the FOMO? Am I going to chase this trade? Absolutely not. I'm going to leave it as is. But I was looking at this because we finally tested this 479 level here. That's the reason why I was like, oh, maybe this is it. But again, kind of like what I said earlier, for me, I would really very much like for us to break this bear structure before I even thinking about longing this, even if this moves to my target here, because this is essentially what I kind of drew earlier, right? Like we would risk about 7 points, 6.6 points to go for 1R. That would be there. I mean, yeah, we're probably going to hit it, but this is one of those things where you look back at it. It's as traders, we just can't look at it and be like, oh man, I should have taken that. I knew it was going to happen. That's like the worst thing you do to yourself. Have a good night, Josh. Take care, bro. But yeah, you just can't, right? Like, yeah, I can see that the target would have hit and I would have made another $700 and that would have brought me to what? What was my balance again? That would have basically brought me to like $6,000 in profit, right? But I just, you can't, right? You can't get too obsessed with that. Um, yeah, you got to stick to your plan. That's in the end of the day, if you're looking to scale yourself out, that's what you need to do. But it is 11 minutes past. I guess if I were to take a look at this right now, just kind of some of my final thoughts here. Um, what I would really like for gold to do, and it might feel like maybe the move would have gone already at this point, but I would very much like to see. I mean, I would think we're probably going to reject this area later on, but if we do reject this area, assuming we come back up here, I would like for us to hold, if not the level, or sorry, if not this Globex print, the level at least, and I would try to see if we can use that as like a potential higher low to like long gold back up here again. Like that is essentially what I would want to see. But yeah, I'm definitely not going to be awake for this because I'm like gonna totally hit the hay here. Because I got to be up in like 5.5 hours, so I got to get some sleep. But yeah, man. I mean, thanks for tuning in, guys. Drop a like, please. It helps a lot. Again, I'll be doing this again and again. I'll be streaming all year long. This session, Sunday night to Thursday night, every night. So come hang, share with your friends, people who maybe have never traded in their life. Get them on here because I honestly, because I have the slowest market, I can talk to you guys, right? I can chat with you guys and share my thought points and all of that, right? So share it, tune in, guys. Anyways, with that, thank you so much for tuning in, guys. I appreciate it. I will catch you guys tomorrow night again. Later, gang.